Hey, Joe the Tender here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to caulk a corner now inside a shower. Now this is where two tiles would come together. This would also apply in a situation where tile comes down to a tub, or tile goes down to a floor to another tile, or to another product on the tile. Wherever the situation would be needed where you need to fill a joint with either caulk or with grout. And which one is it? Do you go with caulk or do you go with grout? Let me talk a little bit about that. Now, in the winter, your house will shrink, so the boards inside your walls will shrink, and what happens is you have movement then in your walls. And then the same thing is applied in the winter or in the spring. Things will grow. So moisture is being absorbed by those boards inside your house. So you have expansion and contraction. If you use a grout, which is a concrete-based product, there's a good chance that what could happen is that will crack. And if you apply grout and it cracks and you need to replace that or fix that, what's going to happen is you're going to have to chisel all that grout out, scrape it out, and then not damage the tile, and then re-caulk or re-grout, whatever you're going to do, and hope that it doesn't crack again. Now, if you use a caulk, there's a very good chance that it's not going to ever crack if you do it right and you follow the method that I'm going to show you in this video. Now, I do want to talk a little bit more about the caulk, because caulk, you can buy the matching color of your grout. So if you go to the home improvement store and you buy the grout, they're going to sell the caulk that matches that grout. And there's going to be two choices there. There's going to be unsanded or a sanded grout, just like there's going to be two choices of an unsanded or a sanded caulk. And what I always like to use is I like to use the sanded caulk. It's easier to work with, and you really cannot tell the difference. Whether if your grout was unsanded, you're not going to be able to tell that you used a sanded caulk. And like I said, it's easier to work with, and that's how I like to do it. You make the choice yourself on what you want to do. And so here's what I do when I caulk corners. Let's watch. Okay, so I already caulked right here. I'm going to show you here real quick. Now I'm coming to a corner where I got 3 different spots to go to. Now, how I like to do that is I like to do all 3 at least a few inches. I'll come all the way out to the end there. I'll come down here a few inches, and then I'll come back to where I ended here. Now, I use this. This is a caulking tool. You can find this in the paint department. Buy the caulk at any home improvement store. So I get this wet. This wall was dry. And I'm going to come down and do all 3 of these areas real quick. Because once you get this wet, it's really hard to work with. Now, if you have to touch up a spot, you just push it back up on the end. Right there, I need to add some. Right there. There we go. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I take my sponge and I'm coming across the 3 areas right here, getting it wet. I didn't want to go too far past that way because I don't want that to get wet. I'll scrape it again. You can see on the sides here I cleaned off the dirty part. Again, these corners are a pain in the butt. That's why I like to do them all at once, so I don't disturb it after I finally get it just right. Okay, now I just take my sponge, I fold it, and go over it one more time. And now I'll continue down this wall. Now when you squeeze these, they leak. They just keep leaking. You can see I'm sticking it on a towel. I'll be able to use some of that if I need it. But you want to make sure you know that, so that when you're doing this, that you're not dripping it all over, because this caulk does dry pretty quick. Now I'm squeezing pretty good here because I had a little bit of a gap there I needed to fill. And now again, I'm coming down to a corner, so I'm just going to stop it right about there. I'll do all 3 of those corners at once when I get to it. Cleaning my tool, getting it moist, just coming straight down. And I'm leaving a little bit of a residue on the sides, so that's why I go over it with water then. You can see it's really fat. And so we want to make sure that we get that off, but you can't get that wet until you're ready to do your final clean. So I just take my sponge, I come down what I just did, and now I take my caulking tool, and you can see it's going on the sides. It's wiping off all that stuff that was on the edge. And really I should have did this first, but I wanted to show you a long wall. I just come down the end then with when I fold it, and that's it. You can do some touch up with it. Like right there, I'm a little shy. I already got this wet. But I'm going to take a little bit of extra that was squirting out. I'm going to throw it on here. And I just touch it up. And now I got to clean this off. So that's how I do the caulking. Alright, if you have any questions, let me know. So that's how I caulk a corner. Now there is different ways of doing it. You could tape down both sides of the edges, make a nice bead, use that caulking tool that I showed you, wipe it off with a sponge, and then pull the blue tape off. When you do that though, it does look nice. It leaves a nice even bead, but it also leaves a little bit of a ridge of the thickness of the tape when you do it that way. So the way that I just showed you is the way that I like to use, and it's the way that I use on all of my jobs. Now, I have more videos about tile installation, whether it's a custom shower, whether it's a tub surround, or on your floor. So go ahead and check out some of those videos here on YouTube. Also, I have a link below to my website where I have a lot more content that I don't share here on YouTube. Also, Tile University is a members only area that I have where you can go and I give you complete instructions from step 1 all the way to done on custom showers, tub surrounds, and floors. So go check that out. Hey, I'm Joel Attender, and thanks for watching.